Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Renubenz. I hope you are doing well. In the previous video, we learned about encapsulation, getters and setters, property decorators, and all types of inheritance. Today, we are going to learn some advanced object-oriented programming concepts. These concepts are widely used in Python applications and software development. Today's topics are polymorphism, duck typing, operator overloading, abstraction, magic methods, composition, aggregation, exception handling, and file handling. Let's get started. Let's begin with polymorphism. The word polymorphism means many forms. In programming, it means one method can behave differently depending on the object that calls it. This makes our code more flexible and reusable. Let's look at the first example. We have a parent class called animal. Inside it, we have a method called sound. Now we create two child classes. One is dog, the other is cat. Both child classes also have a method called sound, but each one gives a different output. Dog prints bark, cat prints meow. Even though the method name is the same, the output changes depending on the object. This is called method overriding. Think about a remote control. The same power button works for different devices. If you press it on a TV, the TV turns on. If you press it on an air conditioner, the AC turns on. The button is the same, but the action depends on the device. That is polymorphism. Now let's learn duck typing. Python does not always check the type of an object. Instead, it checks whether the object has the required method. In our example, we have two classes. One is car, the other is boat. Both classes have a method called move. Now we create a function called startMove. Inside the function, we simply call move. When we pass a car object, Python calls the car's move method. When we pass a boat object, Python calls the boat's move method. The function doesn't care what type of object it receives. It only cares whether the object has a move method. This is called duck typing. Imagine you hire a driver. You don't ask whether the person drives a Toyota or a BMW. You only check whether the person knows how to drive. Similarly, Python only checks whether the object has the required method. Python allows us to change how operators work for our own classes. This is called operator overloading. Normally, if we write 10 plus 20, Python returns 30. But what happens if we add two custom objects? Python doesn't know what to do. So we define the add method. Inside this method, we tell Python how to add two objects. In our example, each object stores one number. When we use the plus operator, Python automatically calls the add_as_n method. Then it returns a new object containing the result. This is how operator overloading works. Now let's learn abstraction. Abstraction means hiding unnecessary details and showing only the important information. Think about driving a car. You press the accelerator to move. You press the brake to stop. You don't need to know how the engine works internally. The car hides all the complex details. That is abstraction. Python provides the ABC module for creating abstract classes. An abstract class cannot be used directly. Instead, other classes inherit from it. In our example, shape is an abstract class. Inside shape, we create an abstract method called era. Notice that this method has no implementation. Now we create two child classes, circle and rectangle. Both classes provide their own version of the array method. When we create a circle object, Python calculates the area of a circle. When we create a rectangle object, Python calculates the area of a rectangle. This is how abstraction works. Now, let's learn magic methods. Magic methods are also called Dunder methods because they start and end with double underscores. Examples include init, a, str, repr, len, a, and ek. These methods allow us to customize how our objects behave. The star method defines what should be displayed when we print an object. Instead of showing a memory address, Python shows a meaningful message. For example, John scored 90. The repr method gives a detailed representation of the object. It is mainly used for debugging. The EQ method compares two objects. Instead of checking memory addresses, we compare their values. If both objects have the same data, Python returns true. The len method allows us to use the len function on our own objects. In our example, the course class stores a list of students. When we call len course, Python automatically calls the len method. Now let's learn composition. Composition means one object contains another object. In our example, a car contains an engine. The car creates the engine inside its constructor. Whenever the car starts, it tells the engine to start first. The engine is part of the car. If the car is removed, its engine is also removed. This is called composition. Think about your smartphone. The battery, camera, and speaker are all parts of the phone. Without the phone, these parts have no purpose. That is composition. Aggregation is slightly different. Here, one object uses another object, but both can exist independently. In our example, teacher uses department. The department exists even if the teacher object is removed. The teacher simply references it. This is called aggregation. Composition means a has a relationship with strong ownership. Aggregation means a has a relationship with weak ownership. Composition creates the object internally. Aggregation receives an existing object. This is the main difference. Programs can sometimes produce errors. Instead of crashing, Python allows us to handle these errors. This is called exception handling. In our calculator example, we use try and except. Inside try, we perform division. If everything is correct, Python returns the answer. If someone divides by 0, Python catches the error and prints a friendly message. We also handle invalid data types. This makes our programs more reliable. Imagine an ATM. If you enter the wrong PIN, the ATM doesn't crash. It simply shows an error message and asks you to try again. Exception handling works in the same way. Now let's learn file handling. Instead of writing file operations everywhere, we create a class called File Manager. This class contains 3 methods. The write method creates or overwrites a file. The read method reads the file. If the file doesn't exist, it returns a friendly message instead of crashing. Using a class keeps all file-related operations together. This makes the code clean and reusable. Today we learn polymorphism, method overriding, duck typing, operator overloading, abstraction, abstract classes, magic methods, composition, aggregation, exception handling, and file handling. These concepts are used in professional Python applications and make your programs more flexible, reusable, and easier to maintain. Congratulations! You have completed part 3 of the Python OOP course. In the next and final video, we will build complete real-world projects using object-oriented programming. We will create a student management system, a bank management system, a library management system, and an employee payroll system. These projects will help you understand how all the OOP concepts work together in real applications. If you found this video helpful, please like, share, and subscribe to Renubenz. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in part 4. Happy coding!